Good morning. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. We're here in Pearson Park in Tarrytown to announce a tremendous step forward that marries together not-for-profit organizations and local government to create and advance the creation of something that's going to last for many, many years to come. So even on this cold morning, we're joined by people with warm hearts who are working together on a tremendous project that takes into account this beautiful river behind us. That's one of the signature features of Westchester County. And we're here in Tarrytown along with colleagues you're going to hear from. Ned Sullivan, who is president of Scenic Hudson, who's right behind me to my right, to your left. And also our Commissioner of Planning, Norma Drummond, who is here as well. We're joined by the brand new mayor of the village of Tarrytown, Karen Brown. Congratulations, Madam Mayor, just sworn into office this week, and soon to take office, newly elected Westchester County legislator-elect Jewel William Johnson, and we're very happy to have her here as well as part of her district. What we're announcing today is that Westchester County is going to be directly involved in working with Scenic Hudson and Tarrytown to advance a long expected hope of trying to link a river walk all across the Hudson River, ultimately from the border that Yonkers has in Westchester with the Bronx to the border that we have in Cortland and Putnam County. Parts of this river walk exist already in a number of different places, and you see one of the most beautiful portions of it here in Tarrytown, just north of the new bridge and all the way up around through Kingsland Point Park. We were here on a warmer day back in the summer to announce a county investment of $3 million in the Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse right up the road, which is a very signature feature. It's an iconic feature. But now we're talking about doing something that, frankly, to me seems like a bit of a marvel of engineering, and that is figuring out how we're going to connect this northern part of the walk with the portion that's to the south around Lyndhurst that continues down along the river underneath the new structure of this bridge, and to connect it to the roadway of the bridge, which represents a pedestrian and bicycling corridor from Westchester to Rockland County. Westchester County is not the initiator of this. We had a meeting a number of months ago. Ned Sullivan, who's the president of Scenic Hudson, came in and asked for our support and to put our shoulder to the wheel. We reacted with complete positive response because this is a wonderful idea. So I think it's appropriate for Ned Sullivan to tell us a little bit more about the idea that we're going to be supporting with our engineering financial support. Ned.
Thank you. Thank you, County Executive Latimer. I'm really excited to be here. I love cold weather, so I'm probably one of the only ones here who does. But, you know, when an idea like this comes along, what it takes is leadership. And County Executive Latimer is showing that leadership by including $1.3 million in his executive budget and asking the legislators in the Board of Legislators to support it. So when some years from now people are walking under the bridge and enjoying the beauty of the Hudson River, looking down at the New York City skyline, up to the Palisades, up and down to the Palisades, it'll be County Executive Latimer who made it happen. So I just want to thank him and congratulate him on his leadership. That $1.3 million will be used for the environmental review, which builds on a feasibility study that Scenic Hudson has recently completed that was originally funded by New York State. I'm joined by Jeff Anzavino, our Land Use Advocacy Director, and the project manager who's doing just a fabulous job of working on what is a public-private partnership, as the county executive has said. We have New York State, the Department of State, and the Thruway Authority who have been involved. We're really excited now that Westchester County is going to take the lead and put its shoulder to the wheel and move this along. The village of Tarrytown is a key partner in this, and I'm thrilled that the newly elected mayor is here, Mayor Brown. Mayor Butler, former Mayor Butler was terrific, and Rich Slingerland, you've been terrific. Thank you so much for your leadership. This is also a project that's great for Metro North and for the commuters who go to the city or go north who will be able to come from Irvington and southern parts of Tarrytown and by walking and bicycling, get to the train station, reducing traffic, reducing congestion, reducing greenhouse gases. So this will be great for commuters. It'll be great for the community members. This will add value to their homes, to the real estate, like here at National Resources Project. We cooperated with Joe Cotter and the village to create Scenic Hudson RiverWalk at Tarrytown, and so we're thrilled now that this will create a continuous path under the bridge. So this is a win-win for everybody. Access to the river, jobs, creating the bridge, the RiverWalk extension itself, but then adding to the quality of life of the entire Westchester and Rockland area. It will also, as the county executive said, link up with the shared use path across the bridge. So this will be great for Rockland County and bring both sides of the river together. I want to thank our congressional delegation that worked for passage of the infrastructure bill that has been signed into law and that will provide transportation funding for projects like this. And then also we have a representative from Senator Stuart Cousins' office, our leader of the Senate, who has promoted and gained passage of the Environmental Bond Act that's going to be on the ballot in 2022 that will provide funding for projects like this. So a win-win all the way around, incredible collaboration, and I'm really excited about it, and that we're going to be moving forward now in this great cooperation, in this great partnership with all the public and private parties involved. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ned. Next, I want to bring on a person who has done an outstanding job in Westchester County for many, many years in her responsibilities now as Commissioner of Planning, and in her previous year. She's been identified as a great leader in the area of affordable housing and the county's efforts there, but in all efforts where we're trying to plan and design things for the future, Norma Drummond has been a critical player in that game. It's important to note that many times those of us who in elective office sit at the top of a pyramid don't give sufficient credit to the professionals who year in and year out, no matter who's the elected official, provide us with the leadership that we need day to day. Norma Drummond is one of those individuals, and I'm very happy that she's here to share the role that the planning department is going to play in helping advance this project. Norma.
Thank you, County Executive. So the County Planning Department has worked with the County Parks Department for many, many years, conducting every 10 years or so parks user surveys. And for the last 30 years, the users of our county parks have told us that trails are the most desired part of our park system that people want. And so what started as a vision by County Executive Spano on a napkin was this Riverwalk. And so the County Planning Department kind of worked out, charted it through where we had to, whenever we could, started it along the river, as close to the river, but then brought it onto local streets so that we could create a continuous walk. But the idea and the vision always was that we would work on it piece by piece through our partners, Scenic Hudson and all the local municipalities, to make sure that we could get the Riverwalk as close to the river as possible. And so this is one of those pieces. This is one of those exciting pieces that not just gets it as close to the river, may even get it out over the river. So it's really exciting to see this come to fruition after so many years of Riverwalk and all of its different pieces. So congratulations for this first step, and I look forward to actually getting further along with it. Thank you.
And I should add that Norma, the planning department, is also working on an initiative that we announced earlier this year in concert with the city of Yonkers for a portion along the river in Ludlow, where we intend to have a park that will also advance that portion of the river and the corridor alongside the river. So thank you, Norma, for that leadership. I also want to make sure that I recognize that with us is a member of our team who has just recently been elected to the town council here in Greenburgh. We are in the village of Tarrytown, which is within the town of Greenburgh. Ellen Hendricks has dual roles, and she's here in both capacity as councilwoman-elect and as the director of research for our county executive team. So, Ellen, thank you for your involvement in all of these things. Now, this is a backyard for Westchester County, but it is really the front yard for the village of Tarrytown. As you look around you, this complex is amazing, and it really has defined, both in terms of public usage and private residences and businesses, restaurants, a tremendous new dynamic face for Tarrytown. And we have a new dynamic mayor who's taken over after Tom Butler and Drew Fixell, and will continue in that tremendous tradition. Mayor Karen Brown.
Hello, everybody, and this is a really exciting project to start off my tenure as mayor. I had the harbor master take me on the boat along the river to really understand what this project was about, and it can lead to some really exciting, amazing trails in the water. So it is visionary. The village of Tarrytown is committed to the Seeker Project. Nothing I love better than a good Seeker Project. And we take seriously our role in helping this project move forward. And thank you all for choosing this great spot to announce this wonderful project. And Tarrytown has lots of other trails. Come see them.
Thanks, Karen. Let me again point out the role that the Westchester County Board of Legislators is going to play in all of these things. The budget that includes this funding is before the board for their discretion, and they've been very supportive of it. I want to thank our current legislator, Alfreda Williams, and also Mary Jane Shimsky. The two of them represent Greenberg and some other environs. And, of course, Jewel, when she joins the board, will be part of that board. And we're very much working in concert to make these things happen. And again, to recognize our state legislators, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, Lindsay's here on her behalf, who's the leader of the state Senate, and Tom Abenanti, our state assemblyman, for the role that they play in helping state funding come into this. And of course, our Congressman, Mondaire Jones, has also been dynamic in these things, our state delegation, U.S. Senate delegation. All of these people, we're not just mentioning names because we're mentioning names. Every one of them has a role to play in making this thing happen. It's a little cold to take questions out here, so what I will do is, if there are any press follow-up, I don't know if any press are present, but if they're not, any follow-up, we're happy to take it. Carolyn Fortino, our Deputy Communications Director, is here, and she can be reached 995-2900, and we'll be happy to follow up with any of our colleagues here. But just to close, and I know I'm going to misquote it, there is a point late in the musical Hamilton where the great Alexander Hamilton, the character, is asked about legacy and what legacy represents. And in essence, what he says, I think, applies today, that you plant a seed for a tree that's going to grow and blossom long after you're there to be able to enjoy it. And I've said this more than once because I think about it all the time in the role that I have, the people who preceded me in roles as county executives, and well before we had county executives. There was a legacy in creating the first planned amusement park and playland in the 1920s. There was a legacy in creating the first limited access highway in the Bronx River Parkway. There was a legacy in creating what was then state-of-the-art Westchester County Center in the late 1920s, early 1930s. All of those projects today have a value to us, and we don't even know the names of the people that were involved in the doing of those things. And they were all, folks who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s at the time these projects came on board. And the purchasing of the various county parks and the golf courses, all these things were done by people who had a visionary look to the future. I'm confident, that I'm not going to be around, but I'm also confident that this Riverwalk will happen. And when people enjoy it, when they're bicycling on it, they won't know which names of which people and which governments were involved in it, but they'll have something of value. That's what we're doing today, just as Hamilton would suggest, that we do something of value that will have benefit in years to come. And I'm sure those of us who will get a chance to see this particular piece come together will see the other pieces come together, and we'll all be very proud that we're part of this county and this activity. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this, and we look forward to making this this funded concept reality, and I'm sure we'll be back for some groundbreaking, Madam Mayor, in due time. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.